Okay.
There you go.
All right. Exciting. Well, welcome everybody to our Tuesday team call. This is so fun. We love doing this call just as a quick touch base once a week to say hi and talk about what's new and exciting and just make sure that we're all staying really well connected. And the goal with this call was to not only have our local leaders train, but then to have some of our sideline sisters jump on and help us out along the way. And I just feel so tremendously blessed to have my friend Tami Boothby Ray as our trainer for tonight. And it's so exciting. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on Tami. Tami and I met actually at GTC. We both promoted to regional vice president in the same year. So we were recognized on stage that same year. And I met her at a luncheon, and we immediately just were like magnets to one another and have been great friends since. And it's always so exciting to see each other. But Tami and I have very similar timelines in Arbonne. Tami was first starting to use Arbonne products back in 2003 and just was loving the products, came into Arbonne for the products. And then in 2006, she actually was invited to a Discover Arbonne and had no clue about the opportunity behind our amazing products prior to that. So she went to the Discover Arbonne in 2006 and decided to jump in and went district manager in a month, right, Tami?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's exciting. And then you were a district manager for 8 years, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's just great that we all have our journey and our story, and I certainly can relate to that because that timeline follows very much in tune with my timeline in Arbonne. And we both got serious in our businesses in 2013 and then both promoted to RVP at the same time. So Tami and I are just, as she put it, kindred spirits, just really great friends. And another interesting thing about Tami, and I know a lot of you have heard me tell her story, but Tami's a cancer survivor. And it's just a really, it's just such a blessing that you have Arbonne, Tami, just with all that it's done for you. And I'll let Tami elaborate a little bit more on her family history with being a cancer survivor and whatnot. But back in 2008, when we came out with the C-Source detox line, that's how our 7-day cleanse was introduced to us in Arbonne. And Tami started to use those products, that specific product. And even though she had survived through cancer, she still had really high levels of plutonium, mercury, lead, arsenic, all these dangerous heavy metals in her system because her cancer was caused by environmental misfortunes rather than a hereditary misfortune. So when she started to use the 7-day cleanse, it only took about 8 months, and most of those levels were completely gone, all but the plutonium, I believe, for the most part. And it's just really interesting. Tami and I were chatting a little bit, and plutonium is radioactive. And so isn't it amazing that our 7-day body cleanse can flush out a toxin that's radioactive? To wrap your brain around that, that's just insane. And then once our clean eating program was introduced more around 2013, she dove all in with that and was able to lower that plutonium level to nothing, right, Tami? It's just completely gone. So these products have absolutely changed Tami's life. The opportunity has changed her life. And I'm just really excited for her to pour into us and her, all of her knowledge and wisdom, because she is definitely a visionary in Arbonne in my world for sure, because, you know, you've definitely hit the ground running. You know what it takes, you know, when the going gets tough and when the going is really exciting, you know, all the ups and downs of what this business can offer. So I'm just really excited for you to pour into us tonight, Tami. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away from here.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Oh my goodness, the love is mutual. It took all of, 30 seconds and I was just enamored with you. And truly, you guys have an amazing leader. And Sarah, I was just at an appointment with someone and I said, the caliber of people in Arbonne is just like nothing else. It's high caliber, highly successful people who are attracted to this company, but they also have heart. Don't you agree? Like that's something that we all have in common is, we just have this mission inside of us to make a difference. And you strike me, Sarah. I mean, you've had so many things come up in your life and you're still happy and you're still positive. And that's what it takes. I mean, that's what it takes in life. That's what it takes in this business, is just to find a way to see the positive in everything. So yes, I just appreciate you so much too. So thank you. It's an honor to be here with you and with your team. And yeah, so my journey actually began right after I had finished going through chemo for breast cancer. I was introduced to the Arbonne products, and it was, it was a time where, yes, I went through cancer, and my mom had passed away, and we were looking at genetic components, and I did all the genetic testing. It was not genetically related, and so then my mind just kept wondering, if it's not genetic, then what in my environment is causing me to, grow a breast tumor at such a young age. I was 27 when I was diagnosed. And so I was actually really conscientious about ingredients before I was primed and ready to hear about Arbonne. In other words, it just fell right into everything I was learning at the time about environmental toxins. So I latched right on. And then, like Sarah said, was invited to a Discover Arbonne 3 years later after using products. So who are we inviting to Discover Arbonne? Are we inviting all of our PCs? Like, we need to be, because yeah, I jumped right in, except for I didn't understand the whole network marketing piece of Arbonne. I just was employee mindset the whole time. I didn't really understand like the whole team building concept. And so I was a district manager for 8 years. And I think the other component of that is I didn't have a strong why. I hadn't made that decision. And that's another thing that that we're going to talk about, is what our business looks like before we make a decision and after. And that's something I wanted to talk about tonight is, it's funny how the price of freedom, and right, aren't we all here because we all want a little piece of freedom, more time with the people that we love, more time to do things that we love, more money freedom, right? Just to have that financial freedom, freedom to do what we want to do, freedom to live life on our own terms. But yet the price of freedom is discipline. Like, we don't get to have that life of freedom without the daily disciplines that lead up to it. And we just had a call, Donna Johnson had the call with Ian Pritchard from the one that was auctioned off or whatever at Green Bay. And he said something on this call that really hit me. He said, work with the people who want this, not the ones who need it. And for some reason, I was just like, wow, that just turned a light bulb on in my head, because how often are we just like pulling people along with us because we know they need it, but they don't want it, or even us. Like, how bad do we want this? Maybe you're like me, who was around Arbonne for a long time, but because I don't know. I mean, I wanted it, but I wasn't like decided. I wasn't committed. I wasn't all in yet. And so I hope this call too will just, help you kind of gauge where you're at. So I want to ask you a question. If you're in a place, maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, Tami, I do want this, but I'm very busy. I have all of these extenuating circumstances happening. My life is crazy. I have all of these obligations. Okay, got it. Hear you. All of us have stuff. We all have very busy, full lives. Well, so here's my question. What if Arbonne paid us $500 for every person that we asked to take a look, for every person that we, shared this is Arbonne for you document with, and really went over the whole entire business plan with them? What if we got paid $500 for every person? Who would do that? Would you? All of a sudden, ooh, we have time. We can fit it into our life. We're going to find a way, right? We'll give up TV for a while. Like, we're going to be on it, because think about that. Our system is like 30 to 40 people that we're sharing Arbonne with each and every month. That's what, 15 to 20,000 a month for sharing Arbonne. Think of it that way. All of a sudden, we would want to do this, right? We would be all in. We wouldn't just push it to the side. So I just want you to think about that. How bad do you want this? Because that's what it's going to take. It's, we all have the same company, the same materials, the same, pretty much trainings. everything's the same. The only variable is us and our desire. And here's the deal. Our success can be as big as our desire, as whatever we desire. So, so often, and I know we've heard this before, that we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, and yet we underestimate what can be accomplished in 5 years or 3 years even in Arbonne of just consistent activity. And you guys, we're in such an amazing time in Arbonne. It's November 15, and this is an exciting time because we're ramping up for the holidays. People are they're looking for holiday gifts. They're looking for ways to feel better, to look better, to make more money. I mean, that's definitely on the minds of every single person out there, is like, whew, okay, the holidays are coming. How are we going to make this all work? So we're in like this perfect time. Also, we're going to have a trip launch December 1st. So who do we have, in qual? Who do we have in queue here, so that we can get our promotions to earn our next trip? So often we think there must be some huge quantum leap that will catapult us to massive success in Arbonne, but it couldn't be further from the truth. It really boils down. The secret to success is daily disciplines and mastering the mundane, doing the things that are easy to do and so easy not to do that they're often overlooked. Every person at the top of their game, no matter what field, has mastered the basics. So what are our dailies? Our dailies are setting up appointments. And I really, over the years in Arbonne, I've really understood how much care I must, and intention I need to put into setting appointments. Like, this is really, like, without appointments, we don't really have a business, right? So this is something I actually am very intentional about every single day. Asking people to take a look at the business, asking people to host, getting referrals, following up, presenting, sharing our story, asking questions to find the fit. These are all the things, right, that we need to do each and every day. We need to have that power hour of, imagine what our businesses would look like if we were intentional for 1 hour a day, just making those phone calls, putting those texts out, sending out our flyers for hosting, following up. Really, that's what it takes, is just digging in and doing the dailies. And then also being diligent with our personal growth, because it's so true. Everything in Arbonne really boils down to activity and mindset, right? So our mindset part and really building and scheduling our calendars is a mindset. So in order to feed our mind and our growth, we have to dig into the reading and, spend time with the people who've gone before us, who have been successful. And that's all of these authors and books and all of these amazing trainings that we have exposure to in Arbonne for free. It's amazing. So we cannot achieve something we've never had by remaining who we are. And who we become is as important as what we achieve. Wouldn't you agree? So it really boils down to being faithful to the process and knowing that it's a process, and finding joy in the journey, because joy truly is the essence of success. I've, in my personal growth journey, I've learned that the highest vibration emotions are love, gratitude, and anticipation. So if we can just go out every day without an agenda, just no agenda, only love, we're going to be at a higher vibration. We're going to attract people to our business easier when we're just in that no agenda, only love mindset. Whenever we have bumps in our journey, and for me, I had a little moment in May because we were getting ready to move, and I was kind of freaking out because, I have a business. How am I going to do this? And blah. And I had to dial in and just dig into gratitude and get myself centered again. So anytime we come into bumps, think about what you're grateful for, because we're not going to be given any more in our business unless we're grateful for what we already have, right? And the third emotion, the thing that's going to help us be so attractive in this world is that emotion of anticipation, that I don't know how my team is going to look a year from now, but I'm so excited because I know they're coming. I know that there's people out there who are looking for exactly what I have. And I can't wait. Maybe I'm going to meet that person today, you know? And so if we can have those 3 mindsets and emotions heading out each and every day, no agenda, only love, nothing but gratitude and anticipation that I know it's coming, it's just going to set us up to just be the most attractive person out there. We're going to be attracting people like magnets to us. So here's the deal. There's an amazing book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And then there's also another amazing book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And if you haven't read those yet, I would highly recommend them. It changed my life reading these kinds of books, because I realized that circumstances do not make our life, okay? What creates our life is our daily habits and our daily disciplines and what we're tracking. So if you want anything to change in your life or your business, start tracking it. And so I want to show you what I've been tracking. I actually made a little chart here, so I'm gonna share screen with you. And again, it's just being a little bit vulnerable here, because I'm gonna share my own personal numbers and journey. But I want to set up the vision for, again, that this isn't a 1-month business. This is long term, right? We're in this for the long haul. And so I'm just going to share this 4 years. So in 2012, that was not the year that I decided to be all in. I'm just sharing 2012 as kind of a reference point and to be relatable, right? Because we don't start out great and perfect, you know, we have to like learn and grow. And so in January of 2012, you can see my total volume for that month was 610. And I get emotional thinking about that month, because that was the month that I actually lost my sister to cancer. And that was the month I also lost my district. I had been a district manager since 2006, and I was just leveled in every way, shape, and form in that month, January of 2012. And that was the month I actually considered quitting Arbonne. And if you've been in Arbonne for any length of time, I'm sorry, but you're going to have those days where you just feel like, is it really worth it? And the reason I'm sharing this is I want you to see what happened, because I stayed. And so the next month, February, I just was getting restless, and I was so uncomfortable with the thought of staying the same that I knew I had to just figure this out with Arbonne. I'd been around Arbonne for a long time. I knew I wanted to do something with it, and I wasn't all in, but I wasn't giving up. And I actually met someone who decided to host, and then she decided that she wanted to actually build a business. And because of her launches, I ended up promoting to district manager again. And so I have this chart here, and I just want you to see how sponsoring and doing DM bonus actually correlate with your numbers and stuff. So in 2012, if you'll notice, my average monthly volume was 2388. So not even maintenance, you guys. I was a barely breathing district manager. And look, we totaled we sponsored a total of 13 in the whole entire year. That's basically 1 a month. So if you want to be a barely breathing district, not even doing maintenance, do that. You know, sponsor 1 a month. It's not the way that we're going to grow and boom, right? So, but look what happened in March of 2013. I made a decision, and I went and talked to my RVP, Carol Bodell. And I told her, okay, I'm done messing around. I've thought about this, and I'm ready, and I'm booking my calendar. And I did. I took several hours over a couple days and was very intentional. I had 10 group presentations on my calendar for April of 2013. And, you know, I hit the ground running, and 5 things held. Has anyone been in that, you know, in that scenario where you're like, woo, I'm doing it. And then it's like, shoot, you know, like it didn't all go the way I thought it was going to go. But, you know, and actually even just doing the 5 group presentations on top of working as a nurse at the hospital, and I also had a home care job. I mean, I was like, whoo, 5 was a lot. How do people do 8? This seems like a lot. Like, whew, because it does. It takes, you know, a little adjustment, getting used to adding more activity into your calendar. And, you know, I was feeling all kinds of things. I actually had a conversation with Maxine King, who's also an NVP, and I said, you know, I'm all in. I booked my calendar. I had 10 things, only 5 held. Like basically, I feel like inadequate. You know, how am I ever going to be, you know, a leader in Arbonne and stuff? And she said, Tami, and I'm so grateful she said this to me. She said, Tami, if you're going from like 0 to 1 event a month to 5, be proud of yourself. Like, that's incredible. That's a lot. So just, you know, sometimes it takes time to build up to 8 or 10 in a month, and it's okay. Like, we all are just so crazy about being perfectionists, aren't we? And then we beat ourselves up, but done is better than perfect. So 5 done is better than perfect, right? Like let's just be proud of ourselves and embrace the beautiful, amazing families that we get to bless with Arbonne. And, you know, be grateful. Again, get back to that gratitude for what we are doing in our business. So in May, when May rolled around, I remember talking to my RVP, Kathy Ray, and she said, okay, Tami, because I did like 3,100 in April of 2013, which was like, woo, I'm really working it. Look at me, you know, and I was feeling so good. And she said, okay, Tami, so now you need to set your sights on district manager bonus. And I was sort of like, what? But didn't you even see what I did? Like, whoa, you know, I did a lot. I went into justification mode, like, come on, didn't you see what I did? And she was like, yeah, but it's time. It's time for you to take the next step. The next goal should be district manager bonus. And I'm so grateful that she had that conversation with me, because she pushed me to have a different mindset. I was a barely breathing district in my mind. And I needed to picture myself at another level and have a mindset shift. So I hope that speaks to you. Wherever you're at, you need to kind of focus on where you want to be and picture yourself there and what your life is going to feel like once you get to that next level, whatever it is. And sure enough, in May, I actually accomplished district manager bonus, and it changed my brain, because now I knew that I could do it. And you'll see, you know, right around July of 2013, we actually went into area qualification. We had a bunch of people in district qualification, and then they didn't really pan out, as, you know, sometimes that happens in Arbonne. People don't stick. I don't get it, but it's true. And and so we didn't end up finishing area. But in my mind, I knew anything was possible, and I knew I was in this for the long haul, and I just kept going. And it's interesting because you can see in November, I didn't have any sponsoring in November. And I remember that month very clearly, because I was at a point where I had sort of burned through my warm market, and I needed to meet new people. So in November of that year, I said yes to different invitations. I went to birthday parties. I went to different gatherings. I joined a running club. I went out on purpose to meet new people that I could talk to. And someone that I met in November of 2013, she ended up becoming a consultant and working her business a year later. And because of her, she brought in the biggest leg of my business that, you know, they actually got going at the end of 2014. So it's interesting, because I look back at, you know, that was kind of a slump month, you know, in numbers wise, but I was out intentionally meeting new people, and that turned into the biggest portion of my business now. So in 2013, my total volume for each month went up to 5,000, and we, as a team, sponsored 47 that year. I did district manager bonus 6 months, and I promoted out a district. So woohoo, we're starting to get a little traction here. In 2014, you can see we started averaging right around 14,000 a month. We promoted to area, sponsored 136. I did district manager bonus 12 out of 12 months. So you see how 0 out of 12 months didn't really get me anywhere, but you know, a lot can change in a year or two just by being intentional and getting into consistent activity. So then in 2015, we jumped up to 41,000 a month average, and we had a whopping 389 newly sponsored into our team, which whew, again, I get emotional over that. I'm just so grateful for that. And again, 12 out of 12 months, I did my district manager bonus. And I just want you to take a close look at January of 2014. I was doing my district manager bonus. I was starting to feel, because remember, it took me from when I started, when I had my commitment in April of 2013, it took me 14 months to promote to area. And so I was starting to feel a little like, in January of 2014, like, man, I feel like I've been doing this for a while, and, I've been really consistent. I've been in activity, and when is it going to happen, right? Has anyone ever felt that way? But look, 1 year later, we went from 5,000 to 40. And that's just from sticking with it. Normally, in my past Arbonne experience, I would have slowed down. I would have just let off the gas and said, it's hard. I think I'm just going to take a break now. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I just put the blinders on and said, you know what? I have enough evidence around me to believe that this could happen for me too. Because we do, it's like this battle inside our mind, right? Of self-sabotage versus believing in something we can't yet see. And I chose to believe. So that's a daily decision too, our belief is. And I'm so grateful, because look at this, you guys. January of 2012, we did 610, and we ended 2015 with 61,000. And I want to just paint that vision for you that anything's possible. We just have to roll up our sleeves and get busy and do what we know to do and stay consistent with it. So I love how it's so true. What's uncomfortable early becomes comfortable later. What's comfortable early becomes uncomfortable later. And isn't that true? Everyone at the top has to get out of their comfort zone at some point and just get busy, right? So I'm going to stop sharing here for a sec. So this is a numbers game. And we've heard that over and over, right? And don't you feel sometimes, at least I did, I was like, wouldn't it be nice to know what numbers to focus on? So now I want to switch gears and just talk about what we need to focus on. And this is really just kind of a recap of what Catherine Lutz shared with us on the call. It was the Goal for Gold at the end of September, the one thing. And she talked about how, in Arbonne, our system is to tell the Arbonne story to at least minimum 30 to 40 people each and every month. And if we did that, if each of us did that, that would put us in the top 2% of all of network marketing. So think of that. Wow, not many people are actually doing that. And this is really where we get hung up, because most people in Arbonne don't even keep track of how many people they're talking to. And that was me too. If someone had asked, I would have said, oh, sure, yeah, somewhere around there. I wasn't really paying attention. But here's the deal. This is what we get paid to do, right? We get paid to share Arbonne and connect people to Arbonne in whatever way makes sense for them. So this is, again, something that we need to start looking at. And so here's the deal. So we connect people to Arbonne by telling the story, which is, it's comprised of 4 things. This is what Catherine Lutz was telling us, teaching. And the 4 things are our why story, okay? The product difference, because we are a product-driven company. So we need to explain why Arbonne is so set apart in the marketplace. We need to share our income opportunity, this amazing compensation plan that's an asset income. And then we need to invite people to be part of our organization by becoming a client, a preferred client, a consultant, a host. But all of these points need to be made before we can count them as one of our 30 to 40. So for example, just handing someone a sample pack and asking for their review, that doesn't count. That's more like, you're prospecting. But once you tell them the whole story, then you can add them to your 30 to 40 faces. Does that make sense? So Catherine described 30 is the tipping point for momentum, not 29. This is a proven system. It's been tested, and it has to be 30 or more people to create momentum. And this drives all growth. It drives sponsoring, scheduling, sales, and team building. And this is what we need to do, right? Is build a team. So if you've ever felt like you weren't getting traction for your efforts, start tracking the number of people who you told the story to each month on your 40 Faces sheet. And then our weekly goal, if we're waking up each day and wondering what to focus on, it's 8 to 10 people per week to tell this story to. And I use this as our Bond for You sheet. You guys are familiar with that, right? And it, it has the whole story on here. So I just keep one with me all the time and move people from my 100-person list. Your 100-person list is your prospecting list, right? After you've talked to them about this, then you can move them to your 40 Faces list. Does that make sense? So it's just that process. 100-person list, tell the Orban story, and then move them to your 40 Faces. So it needs to be 30 to 40 new people each month consistently, and do this 12 months in a row with no break. And this was Kathy Lutz's challenge. So we're going to be so much more efficient when we focus our time, our energy, and our efforts on working smarter. And that's exactly what this is. Our activity goal needs to be telling the story to 30, 40 people. And our results goal then will be 2,500 new plus you and at least one newly sponsored business builder consultant each and every month. This will help you earn your bonuses, team build, earn incentives. It's basically what we need to focus on to achieve everything that we want to achieve in Arbonne. So let's define new and you. New is any QV that comes from any new consultant or new clients or PCs that I sponsor this month. This does not include reorders. So it's just new. Reorders are fun, but reorders are not considered new, right? It's wonderful to have reorders, but reorders equal maintaining and new equals growth. So we just need to get that in our mind. And we all want growth, right? So the you part is any QV that is from your own personal action of telling the Arbonne story that goes under your own ID. So this does not include reorders again. So the way I think of it is, if you're placing your own product order for your own personal use, I wouldn't count that either. Because again, I'm not growing my business that way, right? I would count if you're ordering products like for cash and carry at your events or for a vendor event or something like that. Sure, count that volume. Or host rewards. If you're using, the host rewards that Donna promotes and that our organization promotes too, it's not the Arbonne host rewards, but it's basically using your own ID number to gift the host, then sure, count that volume in your 2,500. And then plus one personally sponsored consultant. And this is a consultant who intends to build the business. It does not include someone who wants a deeper discount. So this person might not launch that month, and that's okay. This is just someone that you're going to intend to launch in the near future, all right? So we want to consistently be adding a new business builder to our funnel every single month. And this is when it gets really fun, because then we start to load the bases, right? We have someone in qual, someone, in their second month in qual, someone promoting, and who's next, who's on deck. And this is when we're going to start to see that momentum pick up in our business. So if we're telling the Arbonne story to 30 to 40 people each month, we are definitely going to have 2,500 new and at least one new business builder or more each month. So the compounding effect kicks in, and this is so fun. I love Kathy Lutz's story about she implemented this for 3 years, not 3 months, 3 years in her business, and her volume grew from 20,000 to 500,000. You guys, how have I missed this? I feel like a whole new business builder right now. Wow, I finally got it. This is the key right here. She challenged her team to do the same thing, 2,500 new and you plus one new business builder consultant each and every month without breaking it. 2 people actually completed the challenge. The first person increased their volume by 100,000 over 9 months. Did you hear that? Like, whoa, who wants that? The second person increased their volume by 100,000 over 14 months. So this is it. I mean, goodness, are you excited? This is amazing. I was like, whoo, all right, I'm in, Catherine Lutz, I'm in, I'm doing this. We're gonna have another call 1 year from now, Sarah, okay? And we're gonna hear what everyone's results are. Because are you with me? Are you gonna start tracking this? I hope so. This is fun. So whatever you track grows. And again, success is truly in the small things, and the small daily disciplines become the big thing. So I want to share screen one more time where, oh, here we go. And I want to show you how I've been tracking. So for me, this was October actually, and this is how I've been tracking the 2,500 new and you. So these are the people that came to events or that I did one-on-ones with or Zoom calls with, or, you know, whatever it is, whatever our reach out method is. And I added them to the list, and then I added their volume. You know, if an order came from it, I added that volume right there. And then the ones with the green circles are actually people who were sponsored. So, and what did we end up with? We ended up with 35, and I think we had like 15 new sponsors in our district, and I had 11 personal. So isn't that amazing? And this is exactly what we want. But the cool part is I sponsored 3 direct business builder consultants, and then I have a 4th one in qual. So it's so fun. It's just, this is exactly what we want. We want to be loading our bases and getting people to the next level. So I want to show you, where is she? She must be at the top. There's one girl, Catherine. Oh yeah, she's in the top row. And she's on my page, but I just want to, you know, share that often people don't become sponsored into Arbonne on the very first time you talk to them. So I met Catherine in June. I saw her again in September. We ended up walking our dogs together twice in October. I invited her to a healthy living event. She attended, and then she was finally sponsored. So then I could finally, you know, add her to my list once she had been to an event or once she had heard the whole story. So do you see what I mean? Like sometimes it takes multiple exposures for someone to go on your 40 faces sheet. My next step is, and she loves the product. She's a PC now. She orders some stuff. She's a veterinarian, and I went in and gave her office samples, and they were all excited. So I'm going to ask Catherine if she wants to do the holiday gifting with Arbonne for her staff. And here's the deal. That's new volume, right? But it doesn't fit the criteria of telling the whole entire Arbonne story. So those people that buy, her staff members, and that volume doesn't count to your 2,500. Does that make sense? Because we haven't explained the whole story. So this is the point I just wanted to make. At the holiday season, we get real excited by all of these sales, and it's wonderful. The volume's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But we just want to be cautious, because if we're just getting straight volume without sponsoring and without telling the story, that's just 1 month volume. That's not sustainable. So volume today is today's business. Sponsoring is our future business. So we just want to always concentrate on sponsoring and telling the story and finding new business builders. So I hope that's clear, and I hope that might be useful to you as you move forward as a way to track. I know Catherine Lutz said to put the volume on your calendar, but I already was using the 40 faces sheet, so I thought, why not just add it right to the sheet, you know, and attach the volume right to the faces. So I'm going to stop share again. And so yes, I hope this was helpful to you. So often in Arbonne, I feel like I've been doing the activity and I've been doing a lot of the right things, but I feel like I've been climbing the ladder that's been leaning against the wrong wall, because I thought in my mind that I was doing everything right just by earning my district manager bonus over and over. But you guys, we can hide behind those numbers, because we can earn our district manager bonus by sponsoring 5 PCs. right? And that doesn't fit the criteria of one new business builder per month. And so that's why if you feel like you're a little stuck and not getting traction, really, really embrace this 2,500 new and one new business builder consultant. It will change everything. I'm so excited about this. I'm just coming undone. So I just feel like too, this is going to help us, not be disappointed in our team. We're not going to be disappointed if we don't get certain reorders. I feel like people who are coming in as new district managers will stick if we can teach them this 2,500 new and you, because hasn't that happened to you where someone promotes and then it's like, whoop, they fizzle off. And I feel like they're going to get traction too if we teach them this 2,500 new and one new business builder consultant each and every month. So I hope that's helpful for you. And I want to just end the call by taking a pledge together. So will you pledge with me? So just go ahead and raise your hand and then repeat after me, okay? We're going to do this together. Because I see every single person on this screen. We are, and you need to believe this, you need to hear it, we are the next wave of NVPs in Arbonne. And you are so much closer than you think. So I hope that really sinks in. So go ahead, repeat after me. From this day forward, I'm going to be the leader that makes this happen. I'm done with excuses. I'm done waiting for everything to be perfect. I've decided if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I'm not depending on anyone else for my success. My dreams are worthy. I am worthy. And every step I take in the direction of my dreams is worth it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me share with you tonight.
Oh my gosh, Tami, thank you. Thank you so much. That's so exciting. I just have pages and pages of notes I've been following along, and I just love how simple you've put it, and you've just poured your heart out, and you're just so very transparent and real for all of us. Thank you so much for sharing, your growth over that 4-year span, and just what's really been resonating with you to make such a difference, that those big aha moments, and we can all relate to those. And certainly, relate to your story. So, and I just love it, whatever we track grows, and, that's just so, so powerful. Like you said, it's like you're climbing a ladder, leaning against the wrong wall, until you get that mentality down of what we really need to be focusing on, keeping the main thing. So thank you so much for serving and being here with our team tonight. I am just over the moon grateful for you as a friend and for your time tonight on this call. And my gosh, every time, it just makes me so excited about my business. I mean, people that know me know I've been excited about Arbonne for all 12 years, but I mean, the excitement is always renewed, and I'm just so grateful, Tami. Thank you so much. And everybody have a great night. Looking forward to catching up with everybody after this great call.
Great training, Tami. So proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you,
I love that you spread the numbers out like that, because I think everyone that's watching, it makes it very believable and achievable, and to see the struggle and then the accomplishment. So beautiful. So now you have to add to the story, because you're going to go MVP now, right?
I cannot wait to do another span by doing this 2,500 new and you, and the one new. This is like Catherine Lutz's training coming to life here. So we definitely need to do a repeat call. Yeah. And I'm
really glad that you talked about Catherine Lutz, and then of course the next week Jessica Champagne, because they really went together. In our nation, that's what we're really focusing on, is keeping it simple in those numbers, and reporting every week your personal numbers. So if we can just stick to the basics and put our heads down, it's going to happen.
And it's coming to life. It's the 15th of the month. I've shared so far with 15 people. My number is, or my new volume right now is 1269, and I've already earned my district manager bonus. So this is what happens, you know, like if we're just sticking with it, those numbers start popping and coming into place. It's thrilling. I'm so ignited and excited right now. So we have to do a repeat call. It's going to be fun.
I love it. That's awesome.
All
We will
right.
definitely do that repeat call for sure, because it'll be exciting to see everybody's traction, you know, grow with this insight. So it's great. Love
Love you guys. Thank you. And yeah, I can hang out for a minute too if you have any questions. I'll just stop the recording right now.